Hello, I'm Maura Carley, founder and president of Healthcare Navigation, and today I want to talk about the group of people who cannot apply for Medicare A and B online when they're about to turn 65. As we've discussed before, most Americans can apply for Medicare A and B online around their 65th birthday. And that's because they've worked and paid into the system, payroll taxes for many years, and that's roughly 40 quarters or 10 years. Sometimes you'll find people who don't think they're going to be eligible, largely at-home spouses, but basically because of work they did as a teenager and in their 20s, they actually do qualify on their own work record. And it's much more convenient to be able to apply for Medicare A and B online at ssa.gov. Now, if you are eligible for premium-free Medicare Part A and B through a spouse, you have a different process. You need an appointment. I don't understand the rationale behind that at all. We've been at this long enough to realize that many times these individuals, largely at-home spouses and sometimes widows who are at-home spouses, are required to bring documentation into a Social Security office or send original documents. Marriage certificates, proof of divorce, a death certificate, but so much is done online now. And what is the purpose? I mean, we want everyone to be covered, and most people are, in the end, eligible for premium-free Part A. But we'll put it in our copy, but, we just tend to make things so complex. So let me just read this to you. When you turn 65, you may be eligible for premium-free Part A based on your spouse's work history if you are currently married and your spouse is eligible for Social Security benefits, either retirement or disability. You must have been married for at least 1 year before applying. You are divorced and your former spouse is eligible for Social Security benefits, either retirement or disability. You must have been married for at least 10 years and you must now be single. You are widowed and married for at least 9 months before your spouse died. You must be single. How do we come up with these numbers? And what is the point of making things more difficult for divorced people and largely widows? I don't know. I just don't get it at all. But please, if you are in this category, do not run afoul of these rules. We had a client recently who should be eligible for Medicare A and B on a former spouse's work record, April 1. She started calling in mid-January. Her local office had trouble getting through. Again, gives us appreciation for this special enrollment period associated with Social Security telephone problems that was over last year. Then started calling the 800 number, was told by people staffing that number that she would get a call back. She'd get 2 calls back to schedule a telephone appointment. That's what she requested. You can also have an in-person appointment. And if she didn't answer the phone in the 2 calls, they would not call back and she'd have to start the whole thing over again. I then called the local office. I managed to get through and unfortunately couldn't patch her in. But, the rep told me, no, we don't call people back. You need to tell her to call every day. And some days we don't have slots, so she'll call the next day and, the next day. And so she did call the next day, and she now has an appointment for the end of the first week in April, which, she can't possibly have her Medicare number until late in the month. So we have to think through whether she should keep her individual coverage in effect for an extra month. And it just seems like there should be a better way. Because of this negative experience, we asked another client to try to make an appointment before her initial enrollment period began, and she was able to call before that 3 months before the month of your birthday and get an appointment during the beginning of the initial enrollment, which is a good thing. We've only seen someone not be able to get an appointment timely a couple of times. But given the experience we had with the special enrollments, and in particular that one office in Florida struggling with those, this is a different office in a different state. But this was a lot of work to get an appointment. And we question the value of the process. Make it simpler. Let's get everybody covered. Let's not discriminate against people who didn't work long enough. Many at-home spouses have a very challenging life. So anyway, thank you for listening to my ranting and raving, and take good care. Bye-bye.